Alright, lads and lasses, it's time for the weekend, isn't it? This Brent oil trading, it's a great data set. I think it's going to keep working really good for us. If you remember, we've gone and we've set up some data flows for this to work. Now, this was a sample data flow, like in terms of how you can start to use it for like a level of incremental refresh, right? It's really important that you understand that concept. But the whole thing to remember is, the reality is, there's no way you would use a CSV as a source for a data flow and then say, oh, I'm going to be doing some incremental refreshing on this. That's just for an example only. Think about it in terms of, I've got databases, and now how my data is you can set up views, you can manage then your ingestion stream and make it more efficient for you, and then make the load on your production system lighter if you're running against a production system. So have a think on it. That's the thing I want you to figure out and understand in your heads. But for now, we're going to crack on, have a look through it. What we need to do is start to stack that data up together. So we've got our weekly and we've got our daily, and we need to just kind of smash them together. And then we're going to whack in a calendar, do something a bit different with the calendar to how we did it before, but we'll get that all in, and then we're going to complete the model. All right, so let's head on out to our model and let's crack on, So here we are, over in our Power BI desktop, right? And we can go over to a nice file, and you can see we've got our daily, we've got our weekly. All right, you can have a look, click on the refresh schedule, and you can go in and see the refresh, see how it's going through. We can see they're all working fine, no worries. I did a couple of refreshes on demand yesterday just because I had some issues with it. But everything's been fine, it's all spot on. What you would do if you wanted to do like an exceptional refresh of your data set, because it happens every now and again, they go, oh, I need the figures now, run it now, for whatever it is. You see, you've got the little here, the little like near circle, refresh now. So we can hit that, and it'll go away, and it'll refresh me data in that little area. It's great to know where it is. It's always useful. So I've got me sent a nice blank Power BI file now, And we also know we've got ourselves like some data flows that are able to pull in the data and give a daily and a weekly snapshot of what's actually happening, where our numbers are, right? So what we're going to do is we've got to get that connected, isn't it? So we're going to get data, we're going to the more, just so you can see where it all is. Under Power Platform, you've got these Power BI data flows. So let's pick one of them and click connect. What you'll find is it'll go away and do an authentication on you. If you've not logged in for a while, you might have to authenticate there and go through your full O365 subscription connection. Authentication, that's the word, isn't it? Right? And you'll find your data flow is here, and it's in the list of workspaces that you have. So here's my Power BI work data flows. These are the workspaces that I have access to that have got data flows in them. In this case, it's just this data set 5. And then I've got 2 data flows. Now, if you remember, my daily has got 2 data tables within it. So a data flow can have many tables. So I could turn around and say, right, I want this table, open the weekly, and tick that one as well. And I've now got 3 tables of data that's going to come through, and we're going to hit load. Again, I'm going to keep wishing that Microsoft are going to hear us and say, oh, it'd be a really good idea to take that off and make it like so that transform data was the yellow one, not the other one. All right. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to have all these. What I didn't want to do is load them. So I'm going to untick the enable load for all of them. Because what we'll do is we're going to start combining these up and make something else out of it. So firstly, let's combine the daily for Brent. I've got the daily and the all on Brent. WTI, I left it as just everything. Rather than doing it all, just leave it as it is. So on the daily Brent, we can go here. What we're going to do is we're going to append it all together. So we're going to append the queries as new. And that's basically what we're saying. We're going to take 2 queries and stack them together, right? But you could do it with 3 or more tables as well. So if you've got if you had a daily, a weekly, a monthly, whatever different flavors of here, you could do that, couldn't you? And then we're going to pick the all. So we've got these 2 tables that are going to come together and get smashed in. Jobs are good, innit? So we've got our 2 tables here. We can see in the test there's a difference between the daily and the all, which is what we would expect, right? Last thing I'm going to do with this, I'm going to delete test. So I'm going to right click on it and remove that column. And then I'm going to add a column, a custom column, and I'm going to call it type. And that's going to be Brent. All right. So what type is this? This is the Brent data set. And then we'll set that to be text because it's text, isn't it? Nothing else. So now I've got me append one. Tell you what, let's rename that. Shall we rename that Brent? Okay, dead simple this. Oh man, this Power BI is well simple this. Like, I'm going to untick load on that because there's a reason. We'll come to in a minute. Come to the WTI. Let's do the same with that. Let's remove the test. Let's add a custom column. Let's call it type. And this time it's going to be WTI, isn't it? And then set that as text, right? So now what I've got is I've got like a WTI table and a Brent table. Now what I really want to do is combine them two together, isn't it? So if I, from me Brent here, or me WTI, sorry, on the home menu, I can go back to me apply, or me append, sorry, append the query as new. And honestly, my preference is always to append as new. Just, it feels more natural because it kind of sets that he has 2 points where these two tables are then going to come together or more. All right, so I tend to do it that way. Personal preference, you may feel doing it the other way is better, but you know, that's your call, man. You know. Click OK. Now I've got me nice one. I'm going to call this oil prices. Dead easy, isn't it? And now I can see I've got me WTI, and if I expand the drop down here and hit load more to get all the data values, you see we've just got two values in here. So we've got the prices of Brent and the prices in the WTI. And we can see we start 2nd of January 1986. So I'm going to try and do a calendar from 1st of January 1985 all the way up to the end of this year that we're in, right? And try and make it a bit dynamic. That sounds like slick and cool, doesn't it? That like. So what we'll do is we're going to again find what calendar I'm first, all right? So now I've got a calendar. Yeah, so here's our calendar table. Dead simple, dead easy. Yeah, we'll copy and paste that in, and we'll whack in a nice calendar for it, eh? So I've got our calendar table. Now let's just paste that in there. You can see here's my calendar table. It's dead easy. I need to remember to put in a year to start. So let's go with 1985. And then we need to put a number of years in. Now, what I'm going to do here instead is I'm going to change this. So the end date. So I want to actually put in a proper end date here, or something that's properly going to be calculatable and actually work better forward. All right. So what I was going to do was I thought I'd gone with like a date at the end of the year. So I was click OK on that, and then we can go through to the end of the year here, and you can see what the measure is written. So what about we do this? How about we do date dot end of year. So at the end of the year, and then I want date time dot date. And then we want now. All right, so that's like date time dot local now. Open brackets, close brackets, because it's a function, and that's what calculation done. Right, now let me see. I can't zoom in on this, can I? So what does that mean? Right. So let's break it down first. So let's start with this bit here. Date time local now. That's what's the local time on the server that this is going to be published to, or where this is running. Right? Local now. My Power BI environment is in the UK, so that's going to be local UK time, be including British summertime. Right? But I didn't want the time bit of it. I just want the date of it. So that's why we're saying date time value, but just keep the date bit. Yeah, that's what that's saying. And then we're saying, well, take that date value that you end up with, which would be today's date, and can you just make that the end of the year, please? So all that adds up together. So the Power BI, it just shows 31st of December 2020. All right, and when it gets to the 1st of January 2021, it'll switch over to show 31st of December 2020. So it's all good, works really well. It's a good, nice little trick to be able to do. Give it a go. So we've got all this here. As we've got like weekly values, we might want to have some weekly values in here as well. So let's go add a column and let us whack that in. Underneath me dates, I've got weeks, and I can put week of year, right? So I've got a date calendar, nice calendar table there with some months, with years, months, years, weeks, days. Hopefully that's got everything, eh? And then we're going to call that calendar. Jobs are good, innit? It's champion, that, like 2 tables, bosh. Come back to it, let's close and apply. And now I've built me data set. So I've got my data in here. There's a couple of things we need to do just to help tidy it all up. First off, we'll start with a calendar. Let's mark it as a date table first off. So we're going to click mark that as date table. We're going to pick the dates column from the calendar table. So that's the dates. And you see it gets a little icon showing that's now our official date values. A couple of other things to do. So we've got day of week as a number, and we've got day name. So let's pick day name. And let us sort that by day of week. And then we need to do the same with month name and sort that by month. Right? So that puts the text values of these things in order for you. Eh? So it's useful to do little things like that. Always a pain in the neck. You've got to remember to do them. Let us go into a model view. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to join up dates to date. So I've now got a basic model built, ready to go. We can even test it, can't we? So we can turn around and say, oh, let's tell you what, let's bring in like the years, open up the oil prices, let's put the legend into the type, and then let's put price into values. And let's make that the average, yeah? When I can find average, my mind's gone blank, man. Right, let's make that little chart so it looks all pretty and easy for everyone to understand. And straight away, we're able to build a simple chart. Yeah, that's not taking a lot of effort to do. We've whacked it all in. It's all starting to come together. Dead easy. The main thing you need to start to think through and understand with data flows and these coming in is it's all in the preparation. The more you prepare the data, the easier it is to actually come in and do your reporting and actually build meaningful dashboards out of it. So I've got this pulled in. That's worked really well. The next thing to bring in or to do, what we said we're going to do with this is we're actually going to do some quick measures. So quick measures in here, and we'll do this on the other days, on the other couple of days we've got to do. Yeah, give you a really easy opportunity to get some proper DAX written without having to learn the measures and how all the syntax you send. So we'll do that, and we'll be able to have a look and see and make some really good dashboards out of like quick measures. All right, so that's it for another week, right? See you all on Tuesday, and I hope you have a belter weekend, yeah? Stay indoors, man, as much as you can, and stay safe. I know they're starting to release lockdown in the UK, but honestly, man, the amount of bomb pots I'm seeing out there at the minute, if you can, I'd stay in. Stay indoors, stay safe,